Greetings from Toronto, Ontario. I am Shmuel Neft, otherwise known as Rabbi NFT.
And I'm Dovey Keebman, joining you from Erie, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Millennial Rabbis podcast.
As Chabad Rabbis born in the 90s, we bridged the gap between two very distinct Jewish communities on opposite shores of Lake Erie.
Join us as we navigate the complexities of the modern world, offering fresh perspectives on the challenges we face today.
Let's make sense of it all together.
Welcome, people. All you who are watching with or without your dogs or cats. So I guess it's not always people, but welcome back to our Millennial Rabbis podcast. Me and Rabbi Shmuel are going to talk about awesome stuff today. We actually didn't really plan much, but we have stuff in our heads, I guess. I'm kidding. And what are we up to? Episode 4, right? 4 or 5? What are we? 4.
Episode 5.
5.
We are 5 episodes in.
All right.
It's
so
crazy.
It's the jam-packed, smashing success. Could we, before we do anything, Rabbi, can we just address the elephant in the room? It's a very cool elephant, but it's an elephant. It's silent.
I think I know what you're talking about. Well,
it's that
unofficially,
box in the back over there.
Today's unofficial advertisement in today's episode is for my new website, rabbinft.com.
It's a real thing.
It's a very real thing. Home to exclusive Rabbi NFT and Do More Jewish merchandise. We've got T-shirts, sweatshirts. We've got hats coming. We've got a lot of things in the pipeline. And look, this is basically what I want to say, Dovey. Just to quickly sum it up. If I'm crazy enough, and it takes a level of crazy to walk around with yourself on your head, yourself on your body, and a slogan that you came up with randomly, and to put that slogan up on a billboard for thousands of people to see every single day. If I'm crazy enough to do that, you can be crazy enough to spend $25 on a t-shirt and support the Do More Jewish movements. Let's go. I'm planning, Dovey, also exclusive Millennial Rabbis podcast merchandise also that when you purchase it will go to support the podcast. More about that later. I want to just address another elephant in the room, which is the technical difficulties. Last episode, what ended up very comical. So we have a few things that we're still trying to figure out. Number one, my camera's like flashy for those that are watching. So you got this camera flash situation. If you're a techie and you can help me out, I'd love to. Otherwise, it's going to take me some time to figure that out. Also, the funny thing about last week's episode is we stopped seeing each other and hearing each other, but the system was recording both of us. Yeah. So you ended up hearing your voice twice, and it really sucks because you're the way we kind of finished off last week's episode was really, really amazing with your story. But so yeah, guys, bear with us. We're not techies. We're
small corrections. I believe the 2024 lingo is not merchandise, rather it's merch. And you're supposed to
drip. It's called drip.
Drip somewhere in there, right? Yeah. So, by the way, if anybody knows me somewhat well, at least you know that I wouldn't wear any of this like t-shirts and stuff. But if you do buy Rabbi Shmuel's stuff, I might contemplate possibly
buy a t-shirt and wear it over your rabbi shirt. See, I did that just to show that, make that point. Or buy it for when you go to the gym, unless you
get a Rabbi NFT. Casquette.
Good thought. Taking suggestions. Someone told me make a Do More Jewish lapel pin flag.
Yellow?
Like a Mashiach flag sort of situation. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, Keepas are going for sale. Things are getting really serious over here. Do it. Support the movement. Rep the merch. Let's go.
And most importantly, even if you don't buy the merch, do more Jewish.
That obviously.
Okay, Rabbi Shmuel, what's on your mind? What's going on? Tell us.
Wow. So I'm happy you asked, Dovey, because I have a lot on my mind.
It's not gonna be like a positive response.
Today's Tuesday, the 20th of February. In exactly 7 days, we're running our annual Charidy crowdfunding campaign. Which all of our friends and classmates are very familiar with because every December they get bombed by charity crowdfunding campaign propaganda from all their friends and classmates. And the community here knows it because this is already the 4th year that we're doing it. But it's heavily on my mind, especially because I feel right now things are going a little slower than I would have wanted them to be. But that's okay because everything happens from above. But yeah, we are doing something that we're going all out to a level we've never done before. We're raising $100,000, which is a goal. I've never made a 6-digit goal before. In fact, last year's goal was 60. All right, just to put it into perspective. But we got to grow. We got to do more. We have to do more Jewish.
Let me just ask you, like, you're telling me something positive, but like I'm hearing like a concerned, an anxious tone in your voice. Like, where are you coming from?
Money, Dovey. What's with money?
Welcome to Rabbi Kievman Therapy.
Recorded for posterity. What can I want? Basically, the truth is that every time you and I talk about money, I feel a lot better. That's the truth, whether it's recording or not. You happen to be sometimes one of my go-tos for pep talks about fundraising. Let's give it to me, Dovey. What's the deal with money? What's the deal with shluchim, Chabad Rabbis fundraising? And by the way, Chabad Rabbis fundraising versus the traditional way of fundraising in the rest of the world. You're the man for this stuff. That's the truth, even though some people may not know that, but now they will. So perhaps today is the first meeting of Dovey Kievman's fundraising seminar.
Back up the mic a little bit.
Is that too?
It's a little too much, yeah.
It's because I want to get intimate.
We can hear you just fine. I'm no expert, but I know things that work for me, and I know things that don't work for me. And not necessarily do I always do the things that work for me, because it's at the end of the day, it's we call it in our Chabad lingo, it's an avoida. I don't know. Translate. You're the translator.
It's a service, a work.
Come on, something like 2024.
It's like Lema Wilhelms, one of our teachers in yeshiva, said once in Yiddish by Farbrengen that was going very, very late at night. What does it say? And he had a class that year that didn't speak Yiddish very well, so he would translate everything that he said in Yiddish. Yiddish is his first language, even though he's from Toronto. So he says we have to do the concepts.
It works.
Yeah, it's a
workout.
No,
not a workout.
It's a lot of work.
Okay. First of all, let's address the big myth. Yeah, should we talk about the big myth?
Let's talk about the big myth.
So, why are you even fundraising? Like, Chabad headquarters in Brooklyn supplies you with a monthly paycheck, and you have nothing to worry about. So, what do you need to add more money into your? No, it's not a thing. Well, tell us.
So that's it's a common misconception, and the misconception is very valid because nonprofits, in general, especially Jewish nonprofits that will send representatives around the world, will send them expenses paid and salary paid, and they don't have to worry about the fundraising. We were blessed with the opportunity and the merit, based on the way that the Rebbe set up the idea of emissarial duty of shlichut.
Emissarial duty. Wow. Cool. Okay, good.
I know. One of the aspects of emissarial duty in the Rebbe's books was that every emissary has to fend for himself, and not in a I want to, like, it's not like the Rebbe saying I want to be absolved of financial responsibility for you, but just the opposite. I think that the Rebbe's the real reason why the Rebbe wanted that system to exist was that the shluchim in their respective places would create their own system of not just fundraising, because fundraising is a worldly, superficial term, but of creating a system where locals, wherever they would be, were given the opportunity to give tzedakah, to give charity, and specifically to the the programs of the Chabad Shluchim, which back in the day, at least, and in places today like Erie, is a revolutionary concept. By the way, I do want to tell you, Davi, as maybe you don't think of yourself as such a trendy guy, but you are the trendsetter in Erie. You are a novelty. You're the fact that you live and breathe in Erie, Pennsylvania, is itself a novelty that I think, because in the business world and in general, novelty is what gets investors.
The word for that is weirdo.
The technical word for that is weirdo. But yeah, that's the idea. But Davi, I want to hear you talk about it. I want to listen to you.
So here's the thing. I mean, it's a funny thing. It's a very funny thing. Not funny, haha, but funny, like just very. Why is it odd? Because there's two extremes that are not extremes, two different, almost opposite things that are working together. One on the one side is that a Chabad house and the emissaries, the rabbi and the rebbitzin who are running the place, and bringing Judaism and strengthening Judaism to their city, as the Pirkei Avot, the ethics of our fathers, which I don't know how that translated into that, but that's what they always translate it as. It says, "I mean, lechem ein Torah." Just I'll translate that that loosely. If there's no money, it ain't gonna work, right? So for a Chabad house to run efficiently and properly, there needs to be cash. Just say it straight up. There needs to be money. If no work is done, there is no money. That's just the reality, right? So all the programs that they're running, on all the visitations and all the exciting things and the gifts and the parties and the holiday meals and the services and the paychecks, all these things.
By the way, don't forget the boring stuff, the overhead, the rent, the mortgage, the rabbi, the shluchim, the couples, rabbi, rabbis, and salaries that allow them to be able to give their entire life full time to be able to do what they're doing. This is like, first of all, they're the most expensive lines on the budget. Let's be clear about that. Second of all, right, there's no shame in saying that you, Davi, have a value, and your value needs to be compensated for because of what you're doing for the community, right? If you weren't, I'm sorry, I'm double clicking and taking a parentheses on this one, but like, imagine you and I had to both work side jobs in order to be able to become, to be the Chabad Rabbi, so that we don't have to, we're not paying ourselves. Chabad is not paying us a salary. Chabad has our Chabad house. Really, we're working aside, but that side job is your main job. So how much can you be dedicating to your shlichus, to your emissarial duties, right? And a lot of people that we know, a lot of friends, will take side jobs, at least for the beginning, to bring in most of their income, but with a goal that ultimately they'll be able to focus fully on Chabad. And like, ask me, even if I wanted to, I don't have any time for a side job. All day, every day is packed, and I'm not one of my colleagues, for example, like our good friend Moshe Goldman. I think it's a second shout out in the podcast, who drives an hour each way to bring his kids to school every day, right? Right. So that's, by the way, I think with that cat we have to take right out of the bag. But go on, Davi.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that needs to be accounted for, and like we said, it's not extra money that's coming in addition to the stuff we're getting from headquarters. We get zero from headquarters. That's just the way the system is set up. I mean, well, let's be honest. Headquarters provides a lot of resources and a lot of help. Tremendous.
That's new. I know there are some financial, depending on certain contexts. There is, but it's not like we're coming here. First year is paid. You got all your expenses paid. Now I have that. I had a different, I have a different arrangement because I came as part of JRCC, which is an existing organization here, and JRCC did pay my salary in the first year and still does contribute heavily to my salary. But generally, the regular shliach, guy like you, goes with nothing. And imagine, I'm saying that when you're saying about the resources from headquarters, it's all relatively new. It's all in the last 2 decades where headquarters is giving, I'm saying, an internet age where things are much easier, where they can give you templates that their in-house designer makes so they can use for your flyers, stuff like that.
They provide a tremendous amount of resources. On the financial end, there's a few little things, but I'm saying relatively little. In the moment, they're big. But, a typical Chabad house, annual budget, we're talking, right? Let's start from a small Chabad house to a larger Chabad house. A small Chabad house, an annual budget on a typical Chabad house, even could be a little city like Erie, right? Could range from, $75,000 to $250,000 a year, literally. Correct. Okay. And a larger Chabad house, someplace in California or something, can an annual budget can range easily $1 million, $1.5 million. Like and this money needs to be raised from the wonderful people who live in the city, whether Jewish or not, who open up their kind hearts to help out.
Who believe in the vision.
Who believe in the vision.
Who believe in the vision.
So, I will just give a shout out here to anybody who's watching this. If you have a local Chabad house that you attend, please have a conversation with your rabbi in Rebbitzin and say, let me in. I'd like to hear about your finances. How can I get involved? How can I help? How can I be part of this incredible mission that you guys are doing so that it becomes my mission too, not just yours?
So let's do this. We want to bring out talk about a topic that in this old style of thinking, and definitely not the style of thinking of do more Jewish, is taboo because it's money and rabbis.
That was actually the other side I was going to get to. Right.
So I'm segueing. Great minds think alike.
The one side, the money's needed. That's not negotiable. The money is needed in order to operate. On the other side, how do you view that need for money? Okay.
And money in general.
And money in general. So
two things, Rabbi Dovey. 2 questions I want you to answer for me at the end of today's peace in the Middle East. 2 questions for those that are listening. We're just making hand gestures when we talk.
We have like subtitles on the bottom, so like somebody's like
Donald Trump style.
No politics. Hello, if people are watching YouTube, they're watching like middle of the night, they're in bed and like don't want to wake their kids or whatever, their friends. We should have subtitles. Yeah.
That's true. We should have subtitles. We do have subtitles, by the way, on YouTube. What are you talking about? 2 questions. Question number 1 is money. Is it bad or is it good? Just flat out. And number 2, do rabbis need money? Like, is the stereotype of, oh, the rabbi's after money? Is that valid? Or at least in our context, you and me and most of our colleagues, I hope, in the Chabad world, is that a valid stereotype? So give it to us.
That's actually some good questions. I mean, let's explore this a little bit. Let's focus on the first one first. Is money good or bad? Let me ask you. Yeah, are apples good or bad? Not computers. I'm talking about the food.
Apples are good.
Maybe they're not.
You're right. They could be. You could. That's true. You could probably kill someone with an apple if you really wanted to.
Probably could. And also, if somebody like is dying of starvation and they find an apple and they eat it and it gives them life, and now they have the energy to do what they wanted to do, which was to kill somebody, that is no longer a good apple.
Agreed.
Okay?
Agreed.
Whereas if somebody takes an apple and eats it, makes a blessing on it and eats it, and the reason why they're eating it is because they want to have the energy to do more Jewish. That is a holy apple. That's a good apple. Yeah, we just plugged you in right there. So money's not good or bad. Money's good or bad depending on how you use it and what you do with it and the way you view it. If you use money for certain activities, you can use your imagination. I'm not going to get into it. It's not good. If you use the money or you look at money with the positive perspective, a Torah perspective, a Jewish perspective, the way it's supposed to be looked at, it's a different world altogether. So our sages tell us something fascinating statement. Gold. Yeah, I think we actually meant this in one of the first podcasts.
Podcast number 1, my friend.
Yeah, gold was created. God created gold for the strict purpose of using it for the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. In other words, gold was created with the purpose of serving Hashem, to serve God. What people do with the gold, if they use it for the wrong purpose, that's their business and that's their problem. But that's not the reason it was created. So a similar thing with money in general, not just particularly gold. So money should be used for positive. It should be looked at positively. It should be used for positive things. It shouldn't be wasted on trash. And we hope and pray that it should be that just the things that we need to use it for, it should only be used for good things, like helping people out and paying for the things that we need to pay for, but not the things that we hope to not pay for, like God forbid, like a medical bill or anything like that. So that's my take on that. Regarding your second question, which is the taboo, the stereotype, which was rabbis are running after money. Is it a valid perspective? It unfortunately is, because again, we're gonna get back to the millennial rabbi's perspective in a second, but unfortunately, people have this feeling of I'm just an ATM. The rabbi comes running after me. Hey, I need money. Hello. And it's like, okay, fine, here you go. It's okay. There's not even a thank you.
Or not here you go, or stay away from me. By the way, I know people who are very philanthropic that get that feeling from a lot of people that are coming to fundraise for them is that they are
it's a gross feeling. It just doesn't feel good.
It's a feel. So there's two feelings. There's a feeling of this person sees me as an ATM,
right?
And it's terrible. And I think about it. I think about it from their perspective, and I think, yeah, you feel like you're just being used, right? Someone doesn't. There's no cultivation. There's no relationship. It's just once a year, someone's calling you and saying, "Hey, it's time for your annual donation. How do you want to pay it?" Like, where did you even come from? And then there's the other perspective, by the way, which something that I've definitely learned about, which is people also are not inspired by emergencies or the impression of an emergency. Some people have a tendency, and this is all our job. This is to be very open and honest and vulnerable. Like, this is the struggle. The struggle is how to communicate, right? Sometimes people communicate, "Oh, we have a campaign, and if every donation counts, because if we don't reach our goal, we won't be able to do this, and we won't be able to do that, and our place will have to close down, and we have to keep the lights on." And people also are not, maybe people, there's more of a drive to give than other ways of pitching, but it's not a vision. It's not an inspiration, because ultimately that's the whole point. Like you mentioned before, it's not, the person is not an ATM. The person is a mitzvah machine, right?
So we'll actually get there in a second. That's an important point. But if we're being open and vulnerable, I think it's important to point out what we're about to talk about. What we're about to get to is the ideal. Okay, what we just mentioned is the taboo and the stereotype. It is a real struggle, not just for the donors, but also for the rabbi. Meaning, there's a need. Like I said, that's the one side of the dichotomy. This is a fancy English word, right? There's a need, and sometimes the need it feels very urgent. Hashem runs the world. He takes care of each and every one of us, so that there shouldn't be that sense of urgency on our part. But sometimes it's a struggle, right? We need $7,000 to clear the rest of the month, and how much is in the account? $66, right? And that doesn't feel very safe. Doesn't feel very, very encouraging. So you come to a donor and you're trying this hard task of trying to communicate the ideal way to do it and the ideal way to look at things, but also trying to quiet that voice in the background that's saying, "You desperately need this money. You need it now." Okay. So what's the proper way to look at it, right? The proper way to look at it is, what do Chabad Rabbis do? What do we do, right? We go to people, and we schmooze with them. We give out, we deliver gifts. These are all important things. But what is one of our main things that we're doing? We're trying to get Jews to do mitzvahs, to do more Jewish, right? We want them to be able to have the opportunity to put on tefillin. We want to give Jewish women the opportunity to light Shabbos candles before Shabbos. We want to give, Purim's coming up. We want to give Jews the opportunity to hear the Megillah, the scroll of Esther. We want them to give the opportunity to give gifts to each other, to do these mitzvahs, to create connections with the creator of the universe. And fundraising truly is that, actually. This is the big switch, where you have to switch from a perspective of I need money in order to operate to a perspective of I have been given this incredible holy task, this job of encouraging my fellow people, my fellow Jews, to give tzedakah, to give charity, which is a tremendous mitzvah, tremendous. And the things that are said about tzedakah in the Torah is off the wall. The geula, the redemption comes with tzedakah. Tzedakah saves from calamity and whatnot. It's a whole bunch.
God, it also says the only thing that God tells people to challenge Him with is tzedakah.
Right. So, the proper perspective is, like I'm a rabbi. I'm going to meet a Jew, and I'm going to ask him if he'd like to, participate in our whatever it is. Can he sponsor this or that for $1,000? Now, like I said, it's hard because on the one hand, there's a need for it. On the other hand, because that's not really the focus. The focus should be that I'm giving this person the opportunity to give charity, to give tzedakah, to do this mitzvah. We're having issues communicating with our servant.
Man, I lost Dovey.
We still here?
Oh
no. We lost you, or I lost me. I don't know. Let's see. How can we avoid this for next time? This might be on the recording. I don't know. I might just be silent at this point. Oh,